By the spring of 1944, Nazi Germany controlled much of Western Europe. Allied leaders knew that to defeat Hitler, they would have to return to the continent and open a new front against German forces. The plan was called Operation Overlord. It would become the largest amphibious invasion in history. For nearly 4 years, the English Channel had acted as a barrier between Britain and occupied Europe. Now, thousands of ships, aircraft, and vehicles were being assembled in southern England for a single massive assault. The Allies faced a difficult decision. They needed a landing site that could support a large invasion force while avoiding Germany's strongest coastal defenses. After months of planning, Normandy was chosen. But selecting the beach was only the beginning. German defenses stretched across the coast of Western Europe. Known as the Atlantic Wall, they included bunkers, artillery positions, minefields, and beach obstacles designed to destroy any invasion force before it could establish a foothold. To improve their chances, the Allies launched one of the greatest deception campaigns in military history. Through fake radio traffic, inflatable tanks, dummy aircraft, and double agents, they convinced German commanders that the invasion would strike farther north at Pas-de-Calais. The deception worked. Even as thousands of Allied troops prepared for battle, many German leaders remained convinced that Normandy was only a diversion. Then another obstacle appeared. Bad weather swept across the English Channel in early June 1944. High winds and rough seas threatened to delay the operation. Allied commanders faced a critical choice: postpone the invasion or risk launching in dangerous conditions. After studying weather forecasts, General Dwight D. Eisenhower made his decision. The invasion would proceed. In the early hours of June 6, 1944, thousands of Allied soldiers boarded ships and aircraft. Ahead of them lay occupied France. The largest invasion force ever assembled was finally on the move. Just after midnight on June 6, 1944, Operation Overlord began. Before the first landing craft reached the beaches, Allied airborne troops descended into Normandy behind enemy lines. American and British paratroopers landed in darkness, scattered across fields, hedgerows, and villages. Their mission was to seize bridges, block German reinforcements, and create confusion before the main invasion arrived. Many landed far from their intended drop zones. Some became isolated in small groups. Yet despite the chaos, airborne troops captured key objectives and disrupted German communications. As dawn approached, a vast Allied fleet appeared off the Normandy coast. Thousands of ships stretched across the horizon. Battleships, cruisers, destroyers, transports, and landing craft formed an armada unlike anything the world had ever seen. At first light, naval guns opened fire. Massive shells slammed into German defensive positions, while Allied aircraft attacked roads, bridges, and strongpoints throughout the region. Then the first assault waves headed toward shore. 5 beaches had been selected for the invasion: Utah, Omaha, Gold, Juno, and Sword. American forces would land at Utah and Omaha. British troops would assault Gold and Sword. Canadian forces would storm Juno Beach. At several beaches, the landings achieved success relatively quickly. But at Omaha Beach, the invasion nearly failed. German defenders occupied strong positions overlooking the shoreline. Machine guns, artillery, and mortars rained fire onto the incoming troops. Landing craft were damaged. Units became separated. Casualties mounted rapidly. For a time, the situation appeared desperate. Yet small groups of soldiers continued pushing forward. Using initiative and determination, they fought their way past obstacles, climbed steep bluffs, and attacked German positions one by one. Slowly, the defenses began to crack. By the end of the day, Allied forces had secured footholds across all 5 landing beaches. The invasion had survived its most dangerous test. Securing the beaches was only the first step. The Allies now faced the challenge of expanding their foothold in Normandy, while German forces rushed to contain the invasion. Supplies, vehicles, artillery, and reinforcements poured ashore day and night. Engineers cleared obstacles, repaired roads, and established temporary ports to keep the invasion supplied. German commanders launched fierce counterattacks, hoping to drive the Allies back into the sea. Instead, the fighting settled into a brutal struggle across the Norman countryside. The region's hedgerows created a natural maze of narrow roads, fields, and thick vegetation. Every field could become a battlefield. Every hedgerow could conceal enemy troops. Progress was slow and costly. American, British, and Canadian forces fought village by village and field by field as they pushed inland. Meanwhile, Allied air superiority made German movement increasingly difficult. Aircraft attacked supply columns, bridges, railways, and armored formations, attempting to reach the front. The pressure steadily increased. In late July, American forces launched Operation Cobra, a major offensive designed to break through German lines. The attack succeeded. German defenses began to collapse as Allied forces surged into open country. Units that had been trapped in weeks of grinding combat suddenly found room to maneuver. The breakout transformed the campaign. German armies in Normandy were pushed back, surrounded and heavily damaged. Thousands of troops were captured, while others retreated eastward. The road to Paris was opening. Operation Overlord had moved beyond the beaches and become a full-scale liberation of Western Europe. The success of Operation Overlord marked a turning point in World War II. By establishing a permanent foothold in France, the Allies opened a powerful Western front against Nazi Germany. German forces were now trapped between advancing Allied armies in the west and Soviet forces pushing from the east. The pressure on Germany became overwhelming. Just weeks after the breakout from Normandy, Allied troops helped liberate Paris. Across France, towns and cities that had endured years of occupation were finally freed. The advance continued through Belgium, the Netherlands, and toward Germany itself. Although the war would continue for nearly another year, the outcome was becoming increasingly clear. Operation Overlord demonstrated an extraordinary level of planning, coordination, and determination. More than 156,000 Allied troops landed in Normandy on D-Day alone, supported by thousands of ships and aircraft. It remains the largest amphibious invasion in history. The invasion's success depended on countless factors: deception operations, intelligence gathering, naval power, air superiority, and the courage of the soldiers who fought their way ashore under intense enemy fire. Many paid the ultimate price. Today, the beaches of Normandy stand as a reminder of one of the most significant military operations ever conducted. What began on June 6, 1944, as a risky gamble across the English Channel helped bring about the defeat of Nazi Germany and change the course of modern history. Operation Overlord remains one of the defining moments of the 20th century and a powerful example of how a single operation can alter the fate of nations.